if you have an enemy and you find out that once you get into power, you use all your powers to be able to fight that person and make sure that the person's business collapse. That is the country we found ourselves. And some people might be wanting to know why Mazen Nnamdi Kanu secession bid, why even in the DSS detention he has refused to back down on his statement of freedom, that he wants the people of Igbos, the Biafrans, to be free from the government of the NIG. Many people would be wanting to know, okay, what is actually happening? Now, can you by yourself give me analysis of today's NIG, where it looks as if everything has failed? The government, the economy, the system, every single thing looks as it has failed. The education system, the political system, the civil system, whereby corruption has become the order of the day. And a lot of people are asking questions: when are these things going to be over? And since 1999, or since the inception of the independent of the country called NIG, there has not been a proper hope, because immediately after the independence, people hoped that they were going to see better things than when the white man was here. And what they saw was opposite of what they anticipated, opposite of what they expected to happen. And when that happened, people lost hope. That was the first time people lost hope in the nation called NIG. And as time goes on, the military coup and the rest of them, people thinking that somehow the nation could be fixed. And when you look deep down into the motive of why people do the things they do in Nigeria, you will find that it is just for personal benefit and personal aggrandizement. Let's go down to the letter that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu wrote to the U.S. official concerning his unlawful extradition from Kenya to Nigeria. For officially and publicly acknowledging the unlawfulness of his extradition from Kenya to Nigeria in 2021, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, at the weekend expressed in writing his profound appreciation to the government of the United States of America, including its mission in Nigeria. Kanu's legal team leader, Aloy Ejimako, who confirmed this to The Guardian yesterday, said that the team acted on Kanu's behalf by making public his statement of appreciation titled, "Thank you, America, for officially and publicly acknowledging the unlawfulness of Nnamdi Kanu's rendition," stating that the U.S. acknowledgement was a demonstration of diplomatic courage. Ejimako, who said that his team's attention was drawn to an official publication by the U.S. government a few days ago, which was captioned 2023 Country Report on Human Rights Practices, Nigeria. He further said that the U.S. government publication acknowledged that Nigeria's secret police had violated Kanu's rights during his arrest and extradition, and that Kanu was a victim of arbitrary arrest in June 2021. The legal team said it needs to be emphasized that this laudable position, which the U.S. was waited for almost 3 years to take and make public, is surely well considered, and thus important for two reasons. First, it affirms the case in chief we have adduced since June 2021 that Kanu was unlawfully rendition, not lawfully extradited. And these are two opposite concepts that bear the similar legal implication. The second reason was that it is expected that coming from a respected and influential foreign power like the US. This public acknowledgement will likely encourage the government of Nigeria to also acknowledge that it had gravely violated Kano's inalienable human rights by subjecting him to a horrendous extradition. To be sure, one way the government of Nigeria can come clean and acknowledge this egregious wrongdone to Kani is to banish any further temptations to impunity and summon its powers and directions under the Constitution to bring his prosecution to a close without further ado. Ejimako and his team noted that this is the most sensible thing to do, considering that Kano's prosecution has, by effluxion of time, become attritional and questionable to boot, given that it was initiated almost a decade ago in 2015 and for alleged offenses that are no longer in play. He added that there are other cogent reasons, including the open and notorious fact that it is becoming increasingly clear that the IPOB leader may never get a fair trial by dint of the grave complications created by his detention at the Department of State Service facility. My people now don't see as it happen. That's one way they hear. No matter what we say, you consign Ahmadike one of Ndibo. That the U.S. government have condemned Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's unlawful extradition from Kenya. They have come openly to say that what the NIG government did to him was a breach of his fundamental human right. Of course, every citizen has his fundamental human right, and also part of this human right we are talking about, or the United Nations Constitution on Human Rights, were also signed by Nigeria. So they themselves are party to this particular constitution, and that is to say that they are supposed to play along. But meanwhile, there are a lot of charges that have been leveled against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, of which, if they follow it through the process, but of course, you know that these people are government, they are in power, they have, even when you have written to, what is it called, the US government, and the US government made their comment, Nigeria is still an issue, if I should use the word autonomous, but the right word to use is supreme state, who also makes their own decision. But I think if it is a country where the rule of law is in action, there wouldn't be a lot of complaints, because some of these things you are seeing will be tried by the rule of law. But here you find out that those who are in governance play hanky-panky with the rule of law. These laws and constitutions were made by them, and they are also the ones who are furthering this constitution and law. And of course, you know that sometimes if you look at what is called a change of constitution or constitution amendment, a, a layman might not be able to understand that what the present government is actually doing is to find a way to alter the constitution wherever it can favor them. And that is what we have seen in the ECOWAS, that is what we have seen in Africa, that is what we are seeing in the West Coast, that is what we are seeing in what is happening in this particular country, because those who made the law are the ones who also further that particular law that they have made by themselves. But our own, we say, Ozemezina, 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 Ozemezina. Meanwhile, we will be waiting to see what is going to become the outcome of that particular case. Will be say it concern the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, as it be resetting the barometer of development in Southeast. This one is coming from Iwayan, the president of Ohanes Ndibo. He said that part of his vision is to reset the barometer of development in the southeastern part of Nigeria. And my issue is that how is he going to be able to achieve that? Because the issue of Ohaneze Ndi Igbo is not like the issue of government. Meanwhile, before we go to that one, Archbishop condemns Kano's continued detention as group fought Nyako on Supreme Court verdict. And Archbishop of the church, and I will talk this one, say wetin Nyako they do, say that one follow. Now the Anglican Bishop of the Niger Province and Bishop of Oka, Right Reverend Alexander Ibezin, has called on President Bola Tinubu to release the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, for peace to reign, asserting that the agitators' continued incarceration is a national embarrassment. Ibezin, who made this call during the 13th Synod of the Church of Nigeria Anglican Communion, themed Running the Christian Race, Implication for the Church in Perilous Times, observed that Eastern Nigeria has suffered a lot. According to him, for Nigeria to be peaceful, the Igbo must be given a chance in the national leadership of the country. He noted that justice delayed is justice denied. He said the truth remains that injustice set back a nation, and once an ideology about injustice is imbibed into a people, no amount of force can quell it unless justice is done. The Archbishop said that the church should continually embark on a race guided by the rules, genuineness, goal orientation, endurance, discipline, and preservation to win, and perseverance to win. Wondering if the current generation is not living in the perilous times prophesied by Daniel. In his remark, the Bishop of Oji River, Joseph Egbono, contended that Nigeria appears upside down as the current situation calls for surgery at the foundational level to structurally revive the country or opt for something else. Meanwhile, a group under the aegis of American military veterans of Igbo descent has faulted the presiding judge of the Abuja Federal High Court, Justice Binta Nyako, who is hearing Kano's case, for allegedly not obeying the Supreme Court's judgment describing Kano as a prisoner of conscience. The group, in a letter to the judge dated May 1, 2024, stated the judge's refusal to comply with the Supreme Court judgment and the lack of willingness to interpret the Constitution fairly are truly embarrassing and humiliating for the judicial system, Nigeria, and the whole world. Amid AMVIE's letter, which was jointly signed by Dr. Sylvester Onya and Dr. Godson Obiago, President and Secretary of the group, respectively, was made available to journalists at the weekend. It called for Kano's release, noting that the IPOB leader should have been taken to a correctional center and not kept in federal government private-owned detention center where his conversation with his lawyer and family members are always monitored. My people, now don't see as they happen for that particular matter. We are still on that matter where we say concern Hamadike 1. Ofundi Igbo Odogwana Fanya. Meanwhile, now here I got to wind down the curtain, and if this is your first time of joining us on this wonderful channel, kindly go ahead and subscribe, like, share, comment, and also remember to on your notification button so that whenever our news drop, you'll be the first we'll collect them. Thank you for listening. God bless you. Not happening in Anambra State, and now here we are in Enugu State, facing the same situation. Meanwhile, let's go down to the full detail of the information so that you can see what is actually happening. The combined security operatives led by the Nigerian police force have burnt down a community in Zuuu local government area of Enugu State, killing some villagers. The attack in the community, it was gathered, followed report of the killing of 2 policemen and 3 members of Enugu State Neighborhood Watch group by rampaging hoodlums. It had been confirmed that the security operatives killed 1 villager in what appears to be a reprisal attack on the community. It was gathered that the hoodlums had on Friday evening attacked and killed the security operatives at Ada Rice Production Nigeria Limited, a farm settlement close to the community, following an operation by the suspected Eastern Security Network members to comb the area to ward off invading headers who had attacked the nearby Nimbo community earlier in the week, killing 4 mourners. Village sources told journalists in Enugu on Monday that a day after the attack on the security operatives, The operatives, comprising personnel of the Nigerian Army and the Nigerian Police Force, invaded the community Saturday night, burning houses and shooting sporadically. A viral video also showed several houses, motorcycles, and other properties burning in the raging flames, while some shops were looted in the community. A voice heard in the background of the video said, "This is Iga community being burnt down by military and the police from Adani division. They are burning houses and shooting sporadically and on people. The community is in danger. Come to our aid. We are not safe. They are shooting at us." The development, it was gathered, prompted a protest by women and children in the community, whose video also went viral on Sunday. One of the villagers who spoke to newsmen on the condition of anonymity said that the security operatives razed several houses during the invasion of the community. Last night, army and police invaded Iga community and burnt many houses, and in the process, one of us, Richard Okoye, died. He was returning for his life when he fell and died. They came into the community yesterday, Saturday, at about 10 p.m. and stayed till 12 to 1 a.m., burning houses and looting people's shops. We all ran away and asked our youth not to retaliate. While disclosing that those who had alternative had fled their homes, the villagers added that those still taking refuge in the forest were not living in fear, not knowing whether the attack would continue. Meanwhile, the Enugu State Police Command has confirmed the attack, even as the command was conspicuous silent on the reprisal attack. According to the command, the attack was unprovoked and unwarranted. Gruesome murder of 2 policemen and 3 neighborhood watch group members cried out by harbored criminals members of Iga community in Zuuu 1 local government area in the evening hours of Friday, May 3, 2024. The command spokesperson, Daniel Ndukwe, who confirmed the incident in the statement on Monday, said that when the incident happened, a combined security team of 3 policemen and 4 neighborhood watch group provided security for a team of visiting investors from Lagos on a tour of a proposed agricultural investment site in the area. However, the team was ambushed and attacked by a large group of criminal elements who opened fire on them. Upon the provoked sudden attack, members of the team scampered for safety, while an assistant superintendent of police, ASP, who led the team, one neighborhood watch personnel, and 3-member team of investors were later rescued by police team that immediately mobilized to the crime scene. But the eventuality, murdered members of the team went missing and unaccounted for. However, in the course of a full-scale investigation and a search of manhunt operation launched thereafter, 3 male suspects to have masterminded the attack were arrested. Their revelation during interrogation led to the discovery and recovery of the slain policemen and neighborhood watch group members in the forest on May 4, 2024. Their lifeless bodies were taken to the hospital, confirmed dead by doctors, and deposited in the mortuary for preservation and autopsy. My people, now don't see as it happen. This one is happening live at Iga, Enugu State. These people complained that they were attacked by hoodlums, and on the reprisal, it was on the community as it is. Meanwhile, you know, get as it be, where it never be before. Our prayer is all them now. Our prayer is that make another one know they happen again. But meanwhile, this issue that have repeated itself again, and again, whereby the force personnel receives attack and they repress this attack on innocent community. The reason why these security forces were created was because the government knew that one day there will be an attack, one day there may be an armed robbery, one day somebody might be attacked or robbery could occur. And when these things happen, I don't think it is expected of the NIG forces to repress this attack, on innocent community. Why not have an investigation? Why not have an investigation? Let there be an investigation. So you will be able to find out who is doing who and what is actually happening in that community and who are the people involved in the crime that was carried out. But repressing the attack on the entire community is uncalled for. Is uncalled for. Look at what these soldiers are doing. Yes, they have lost their men. They should be angry. They should not rest. But their anger should have led them to proper investigation. And also because this community you are burning down, these hoodlums you are talking about are also a threat to that community. So now, why should this community be the ones that will be, suffering the brunt of other people's indiscipline? Meanwhile, you don't even know whether these people are coming from that community, whether they are outside people. I want to say again, also emezina. The buyer can another information where just the leak for my table now be say Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer said that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not facing treasonable felony. Let's go down to the full detail of that information. They say, contrary to media reports, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, currently has no treasonable felony among other charges preferred against him by the federal government. Kanu's lead counsel, Barrister Aloy Ejimako, gave the clarification in the release he made available to the Whistler on Friday. Ejimako, however, clarified that the federal government from 2015 to late 2021 preferred 2 treasonable felony charges against Kanu. According to him, however, even as he was rendition for the treasonable felony offenses, both charges were dropped by the federal government after Kanu's rendition from Kenya. Another charge that was dropped was the misdemeanor having to do with defamation of former President Buhari. Thus, from 2015 to 2021, Kanu was arrested, detained, charged, prosecuted, nearly killed in Python dance, exiled, disappeared, and inflammatory rendition for charges that were all later dropped or withdrawn. Ejimako said Kanu currently faces charges wholly related to broadcasts alleged to have been made in furtherance of terrorism, adding that this does not mean the same thing as Kanu personally committing any physical terrorist act, as aspect of the media often mistakenly suggest. According to him, this is not semantics, as the mere uttering of words or making a broadcast is at law markedly different from committing an overt physical act. Suffice it to say that this is one of the obscuration that will as yet create profound complications as Kanu hankers down to defend himself against charges that carry death penalty. He stated further that declaration of IPOB as a terrorist group by the Buhari administration in 2017 was not driven by any evident act of terrorism, but by a discriminatory tendency which was later declared unconstitutional in a landmark judgment by the High Court of Enugu State in October 2023. Ejimako continued, it was therefore expected that the present government, being more committed to rule of law as it were, would have pursuant to this judgment taken administrative measures to formally deproscribe IPOB on its own volition. He also stated that the judge of the Supreme Court in December last year unequivocally exonerated Kanu from any notion of having jumped his bail in September 2017, adding that the Supreme Court, which was made aware of the penitent judgment of Abia State High Court of January 2022, quoted copiously from that judgment in making its determination that rather than Kanu, it is the federal government that is solely responsible for Kanu's inevitable flight to exile. The Supreme Court, Ejimako explained further, determined that Kanu's bail should not have been revoked, that it was obtained by deception, and that his extraordinary rendition was a criminal act. He said it was therefore a dilemma and oxymoron that those who committed grave criminal acts against Kanu are amongst those detaining and prosecuting him. In his view, Kanu's ordeal began in 2015 when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu professed commitment to self-determination for his people. He said Kanu is possessed of a protected political opinion which Buhari's government timidly considered criminal and thus sought to suppress it by means of punishment of some sort. This is exactly the reason the United Nations Human Rights Council had in July 2022 directed for Nnamdi Kanu's unconditional release and discontinuation of his trial. Ejimako added that copious international tribunals had also weighed in against Kanu's trial and his continued detention, averaging that as the trial is dotted to proceed apace. It remains to be seen if Nigeria will ultimately succeed in insulating itself from its treaty obligation. He urged the press to be guided by the foregoing verifiable facts in their future publication regarding Kanu's case. My brother, I don't see as it happen. That matter, and I want to say concern Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. But now here I got the one that the curtain. Thank you for listening. God bless you.